Tom Steyer, welcome to KQED Newsroom.
Scott, thank you for having me.
You're spending a lot of money, tens of millions of dollars, on ads calling for the impeachment of President Trump. You've never held office. You've never run for office. Why are you, Tom Steyer, the guy to be saying it's time to impeach the president?
Well, I don't think it's at all about me, actually, Scott. What we're really trying to do is empower the voice of the American people. What we're doing is letting, at this point, over 4 million people put their voices together to say, this is a dangerous president, he's unfit for office, we need to get him out. So it really isn't at all about me. We're not convincing anyone to do this, I assure you that. We're enabling them to put together a collective national voice to speak up to elected officials.
As you know, you're getting a lot of pushback from Democrats, starting with House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi, who says it's too soon. We need to wait for this Mueller investigation to run its course. You're endangering the Democrats' efforts to retake the House. You're smiling. You disagree with that?
Well, it's not the first time I've heard it. That's why I'm smiling. Let me start about the question about it's too soon. We got 4 constitutional scholars. I'm not a lawyer, but we got 4 law professors for 2 hours to take us through exactly the case for impeachment. And we put it on the web at needtoimpeach.com. And it is a open and shut case that he has met the criteria for impeachment. We're supportive of the Mueller investigation. He is investigating 2 out of the 9 criteria that this president has met. So there's no doubt in my mind that from a legal standpoint, it's clear. The second question you asked me was, is this bad for Democrats? That Nancy Pelosi...
That's what Democrats say, and a lot of Democratic consultants say that.
Here's what I would say. We are telling the truth. We believe he is unfit. We believe all those Democrats would agree with us that he's unfit. We think that he's dangerous to the American people. We believe those Democrats would agree with that. We believe that this is the constitutional remedy for a dangerous, unfit president. And when they say, what they're really saying is this is going to rile up the Republican base.
Well, also, yes, that's true. It'll drive out turnout among Republicans. But they're also saying, look, any impeachment proceedings need to begin in the House of Representatives, which is controlled by Republicans. Let us win back the House first. Isn't that a good argument? Well, I mean, Republicans aren't going to impeach him.
I can add, I did go to high school, so I can get 50% of 100 and half of 435. I think there's a different question about impeachment. You're talking about a grave move, removing the elected president of the United States. That is not supposed to happen in a vacuum. It is a long process. It took 2.5 years with Richard Nixon. It is something where the people of the United States, who we're really talking with and for, the people of the United States have to understand that something really wrong has taken place, or this can't happen, in a vacuum behind closed doors. And it's a process that we've begun, that it's important to begin because it is urgent, and it's bringing it to the American people saying, take a look. This is dangerous and urgent.
Why are Democrats, do you think, being so cautious?
I don't want to speak for them, but I will speak to their concern. And that's this. What I've heard is that they're worried about the idea that Republicans will be angry at the concept of impeachment, and therefore we're inflaming their base. I see this in a different view, which is we're speaking to Americans generally, and we're speaking to Democrats and independents. The question is, if we're telling an important truth to the American people and to Democrats, won't that actually get them to go to the polls? If we're talking about the major question in the United States, it is not a secret to the American people that this president is very different.
You're saying, though, in these ads that elected officials have a moral responsibility to speak out and to support impeachment, a moral responsibility. And this week, your group, Next Gen America, also sent out a platform on sexual harassment and said that elected officials and candidates, if they don't embrace this platform, they're not morally fit to be in government. So it raises the question, are you at risk of being sort of a moral scold here?
Well, I think that there is a point here about right and wrong. And I think that's the question, honestly, in 2018, Scott. I think that people are getting way, way too far away from a basic question about American values. And that is actually what I do think is a question here.
Yeah.
This is a question about the soul of America. This is not about a 35 or a 37% marginal tax rate. This is a question about whether we're safe. It's a question about, are people who are not rich, white American males, fully citizens? These are the basic questions for Americans. So I think, if you ask me, do I think this is a moral question, that we are having a moral attack on the basic fabric of American society? I think definitely, and I would refer you to the elections in 2017 in Virginia, in Alabama, and in New Jersey, and tell me it's not moral.
Speaking of elections, there's a lot of speculation about your political future. You're making an announcement in Washington on Monday about your political plans for 2018. Give us a preview.
Well, let me start by saying it would be crazy to pre-announce my announcement. I don't want to be.
We won't tell anybody.
But let me say this. I started this by saying this isn't about me. This isn't about me. I am ambitious about something. I am very ambitious. I want to be part of the group of people who push America back onto a just and prosperous path. I'm extremely straightforward.
You think you can do that best in office?
Well, that's what I'm going to address on Monday. But there's.
Are you satisfied with the field of people running for the U.S. Senate and for a governor?
Well, I don't think we know yet who the field is.
Well,
I think in
but
either
there's speculation
of those,
you could be part of the field. I mean,
I know that, but I'm just saying, you don't really, no one really knows who's going to run, because the filing deadline isn't until February, I don't think. But my point is, I am absolutely frank and straightforward about the idea that I want to be in the group of people. I think we're in a dangerous position. I think our democracy is under attack. I think the safety of our citizenry is under attack. And I want to be one of the people who is locking arms and insisting that we go back and push for a just America. We go back and push for the kind of prosperity in the 21st century that is possible and within our reach, and which I believe this administration is blowing.
Last question. There is a book out today, Fire and Fury. Have you read it?
I've read the excerpts. I have not gotten a copy of the book yet, but I'm looking forward to reading it.
And are you going to give it to anybody?
Well, judging on the excerpts, we went out and bought 535 copies, and we're going to get citizen volunteers to deliver them to the office of every congressperson and senator. Because we believe, when we started this impeachment petition on October 20th, we felt every subsequent day would bring information that would bolster our argument this was a dangerous, unfit president who needed to be removed from office. And from what I can tell, this book makes that case in very bold letters.
All right, Tom Steyer, we'll look forward to the official announcement next week. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.